From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode,
we are getting started with a look at the Certified Vendor of the Month. You've met her before right here, Denise Herd, the owner of public relations firm Herd Strategies. Tips on what businesses need to know about putting together mid-year projections. And for inspiration, we continue our chat with the developer of Hobbs Station in Plainfield. Find out about his beginning.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
We are getting started with a look at the Certified Vendor of the Month. You've met her before right here, Denise Herd, the owner of public relations firm Herd Strategies. She says she uses innovative strategies to help clients develop their brands and increase their community involvement.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting started.
I'm Denise Herd, and you're here at Herd Strategies. You're here because we have been selected as the Office of Minority and Women Business Development of the City of Indianapolis as the Vendor of the Month of August. It means so much. You know, as a business owner, you don't do what you do for recognition. You do what you do because you're committed to making the world a better place than you found it. And to know that people within the department and within the city's administration saw Herd Strategies and have been watching Herd Strategies and seeing the hard work that we've been doing over the past several years really means a lot to us. I think the thing that it means for small businesses is it also stresses the importance of interacting with the city. You know, a lot of times as a business or a business owner, you forget about the municipality and the importance of understanding city agencies and paying attention to what the city is doing where you're conducting your business. And so it's very important to cultivate relationships with your city county councilor, with your mayor's office, with the different agencies that exist within the city, not just to do business, but to make the city a better place as a whole. So it's very important for entrepreneurs and is a testament to why that sort of commitment to your business is so important.
And you were actually here last year.
You were.
What's changed since then?
I think what's changed since then is that we have gained a stronger level of confidence in the work that we're doing. And we've also been working on some projects that are going to be, because a lot of the work that we're working on now is very future focused. So the work that we have been involved with over the past year is going to impact the quality of life for people within the city of Indianapolis for decades to come that may not be realized for several years. And so that's been really exciting, working behind the scenes to now start getting a peek behind the curtain of what's down the road for our city. And I'm really excited and really thrilled about how our business has shifted in that direction. Most businesses don't survive to see their 13th year. So I think that I see us moving to a higher level of engagement on the city and the state and even a national level. I see the projects that we're working on growing. I see us getting a bigger peek behind that curtain that I've talked about, that we've been looking behind. I just see more growth for us over the next couple of years.
So, first of all, thank you for allowing us to come to your space this morning, Denise and Herd Strategies. First of all, congratulations. This is well deserved. I have known Denise for many years now. And really, when you talk about the reason why we give out this award, because we want to recognize our diverse vendors who are doing good work, who are growing their business, but more importantly, who are also contributing back to the city. And this woman here is connected and involved in so many different things So, this just was a natural for us to select you. I'm so glad that we were finally able to get to do this. So let me read this to you. On behalf of the City of Indianapolis, the Office of the Mayor, in recognition of Herd Strategies, for your selection as the Office of Minority and Women Business Development Certified Vendor of the Month for August 2024. Your exceptional contributions and unwavering dedication to excellence in your business practices not only enrich our community, but also establish a standard for quality and service. Thank you for being a positive force in our community, and it is attested by Joseph H. Hobbs, Mayor of City of Indianapolis.
So thank you so much for this recognition, and also just thank you for always believing in Herd Strategies. The City of Indianapolis has been a big supporter of ours, we provided lots of encouragement over the years that we've been in business, and we're very, very appreciative. August is Black Business Month, and so it is truly an honor for Herd Strategies to be selected as your vendor of the month during the month of August. And we celebrate our 13th anniversary this year, so the timing couldn't be perfect. So thank you so much. Thank you for everything.
No problem.
This is the segment each week where we turn our attention to accounting, bookkeeping, and other financial aspects of your business. We have a new contributor this week, Jamar Cobb-Denard, a business broker with Indiana Business Advisors. He shares tips on what businesses need to know about putting together mid-year projections.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities, Accounting and Bookkeeping.
My name is Jamar Cobb-Denard. I'm an attorney and business broker, and today we're here at the Indiana CPA Society. Today we're going to discuss our mid-year projections for 2024. And primarily there are 4 things to think about. Number 1 is the election. Second is interest rates. Third is buyer activity, and fourth is how to turn it around now that we've gotten through half of the year. As we think about this, the election itself was kind of mundane in its impact on business owners until Joe Biden dropped out of the race. Now we've got uncertainty within the race. We're not sure which candidate's going to win. So with that uncertainty comes what's going to happen with the executive priorities, what's going to happen with how those executive priorities spill over into Congress, what new laws are going to come out that affect business, etc. So with that uncertainty, many clients and business owners have become uncertain in their decision making as well, and more conservative until after we get through the second Tuesday in November. So that's a consideration as people are thinking about their plans for the rest of the year and how to push on business development and also product delivery as we go through the rest of 2024. Next are interest rates. So interest rates are not expected to change much throughout the rest of the year. What that means is that money is more expensive and the buying power of every dollar is also decreased. So if you're selling business to business or business to consumer, that means that people may buy less because the money that they have is not going to stretch quite as far. Also, going back to conservative decision making, people become more conservative when interest rates are higher because that money costs more. So some clients and some customers, whether it's B2C or B2B, may be more hesitant and may be more reticent to make big ticket purchases or long-term purchases because of the uncertainty around interest rates and also because of the degree of the height of interest rates right now. Third is buyer activity. So when I say buyer activity, that can be mostly in transactions. If you think about real estate, right now in central Indiana, real estate is still hot. It's not 2020 or 2021 hot, but houses are staying on the market for days, not months. They're still selling at a premium, and it's still really a seller's market. So when you think about buyer activity, even with higher interest rates, even with uncertainty, there's still a lot of activity out there and a lot of buyers who are making great decisions that can help small businesses. Finally, there's some thoughts on how to turn it around. So the first thing is to focus on key performance indicators or KPIs. Many of those KPIs or key performance indicators are related to the financial performance of business. So So what is top line? What are top line sales? What's the gross profit after we get through expenses? What's the net profit after we get through all the operating expenses of the business? Those three numbers, sales, gross profit, net profit, can be really key to making sure that someone stays profitable and has a strong year in sales. And speaking of sales, what's the type of activity that's going to drive more sales for a small business? Is it advertising spend? Is it the number of sales calls that somebody's making? Is it the number of raw sales that a company is bringing in as well? So the main focus and the main way to get through 2024 to turn it around and create success, even in the midst of high interest rates, even in the midst of an uncertain election, is to focus on key performance indicators.
Last month, in a success story, we introduced you to Isaac Bamboje. He's the CEO of New City Development Partners, which shares his vision and inspiration for the new Hobbs Station development in Plainfield. We continue our conversation today to find out what's inspiring him along his path to success.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Success Story.
It really boils down to and stems back to a little bit of my college days and really seeing the power of just taking initiative with internships and side hustles during school years and everything, and that just showing, okay, well, I could be either playing video games right now, which is nothing wrong with that, or I could be doing some drop shipping on Amazon and making, a few $100, maybe a couple $1,000, in a short amount of time. And so that really kind of opened my eyes to the power of entrepreneurship and taking that initiative and taking risk, right? There's always this idea of taking risk. And so that had always sat in the back of my mind, even though I knew that, hey, coming from, the south side of Chicago and even before then, Nigeria, that, I wanted to have something that was stable, right? I wanted to go into an industry, go into a career that created stability for me, for my family, for those around me. And, I got the fortunate opportunity to, work with a group coming straight out of school that was a commercial real estate development firm called Hendricks Commercial Properties. Folks know about that group here locally. They're the ones behind the Ironworks and Bottle Works projects. And so, you can imagine that as a young professional in that time period, some of those things that I was working on really exposed my eyes again to the impact that one could have on, the community, whether it's starting off in Wisconsin to coming to Indiana. That really opened my eyes to all of that. And so from the standpoint of, having that entrepreneurial sort of spirit in the back of my mind was like, at some point, this is something I want to, kind of do for myself. And the experiences that I had while I was at that company and some of the things that I did at an earlier point in my career really gave me the experiences that were required to be able to then potentially go off and take again that risk on my own. Now the timing could have been better. Starting right when the pandemic starts is not advisable, but it's worked out. You wouldn't choose it, but at the same time, when I go back, I wouldn't change it either, right? Because you get formed in that crucible of kind of affliction that really galvanizes how you view, the decisions you're making from a business building standpoint. And you have to be really, dialed in and focused on what matters versus what doesn't, because you don't have all this fluff to play with. You're going to make mistakes. And, it's, I think so many people have said it, it's all about failing forward, right? And being able to, turn losses into lessons, right? And there are going to be plenty of those, right? And that's sort of where you've got to have a core fundamental, competencies and skill sets and whatnot. But I think being able to just, recognize that you will not be perfect and you will need to be able to iterate as things change around you. The environment is always changing around you. You can only control so many things, and focusing on what you can control and not on what you can't control is so key in business building, and being able to try to do those types of things, right? Focus on what you can control and doing your best to try to see around that corner, because in this business, particularly commercial real estate, timing is everything. The relationships in your life are so key, and the people that, whether it's the partners, the vendors, the customers, the municipalities, those are all super important in terms of navigating the mentors, like you mentioned, the folks you confide in, right? All of those relationships, which I kind of, again, wrap into that relationship bucket, are so key. Some might the saying, right? It's not just what you know, it's who you know. Is very important in all of that. And it's not just about, I know so-and-so. It's how are you utilizing that relationship, and more importantly, how are you bringing value to that relationship? Not just how can I take and extract, but how can I give back and share what it is that I'm bringing to the table. This is a pretty important junction in my career in New City's history. We've kind of hit, again, this journey is such that it's not a just straight vertical line. There are a number of ups and downs, and we are in a unique time period in the world of commercial real estate. But at the same time, for a group like ours, where we're not a legacy group that's been around for a long time, it's given us the ability to continue to be nimble and flexible in times like this, where interest rates are increasing, construction costs are high, and labor force is tight, right? All of these things are challenges, and so obviously we have certain things that we're working on and that we're doing that keep us busy, but we still have the ability to kind of again try to peek around that corner for kind of the next jump. And so we've kind of reached a certain height and plateau, and we're trying to get to that next step, and there's a lot of effort that goes into getting to that next step as an organization, and for me as a leader too. So there's a lot of learning going on right now. A lot of people define success in different ways, I think. For me, as I've reflected on that question, the word that keeps coming to mind is freedom, and how to create freedom for those around me and for myself. And in that, it does not mean that you'll be able to do everything, right? But you'll be able to do the things that matter and important to you, and you're still going to have to work hard. For me, success is not sitting on the beach, drinking a mimosa or whatever, pina colada, but being able to take that step back, enjoy the things in life that again, to me, matter most: the family, wife, kids, those sorts of things, but then also the impact, right? That's really kind of those markers, and being able to say, okay, those that are around me here, that are trying to figure it out as well, here are some of those tidbits and pieces of information that can help you get to that next level that you're trying to get to as well.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, BEOshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV, or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at BEOshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.